Hello. There we go. Right, so BIOS is set to default settings. It's the latest version of the BIOS, which is 10.02 or 1002. If we run a quick benchmark, basics. Runs Sunny Bench. It's full again. Right, so if we run a benchmark, CPU benchmark, we will see, hopefully, 4.3, TDP is 100 watts. Will we make it to the end without throttling? Pretty far. Oh no, we just throttled. We just dropped 64 watts and we've dropped down to 3.6, 3.7 gigahertz on the processor. Let's try that again. Probably throttle even sooner. I'm also running the memory default, so no XMP, and it's not set to its rate and speed or timing. And a very strange bug as well. If I set the, if I do set the XMP profile, I get a lower benchmark, which is bizarre, like 1100. If I set the memory manually to 3000. Actually, I'll show it. Yeah. Might get a bit boring. I can't use my mic while I'm in the BIOS. I may try and add the audio afterwards. Do that one more time. Got a 1205. .3 watts. Watts. Just throttled again. About 3/4 of the way through. 2/3. We've got a low score. 700. No, 244. We've got a higher. Okay. So that's throttling at about 2/3 of the way, halfway through the test. We're hitting a max V core of 1.23, max temperature of 72°C, and 102 watts. Right, so if we close that,
tell me to leave you alone, but I can't stay away. I know I should let you go, but there's something telling me no. I know I should let you be, but I keep on thinking of you and me, thinking of you and me, but I keep on thinking of you and me, thinking of you and me.
right, should be able to hear me again now. I should really put Windows on an SSD, I know. So what I've done now is I've changed the BIOS to XMP profile. My RAM's 3000 MHz. Problem that I noticed with doing that, it'd be great if you could just do that, and that was the end of the story. But if you do that, what I found was that it pushes your voltage too high. Right, so 1.26 volts still. Or we're doing nothing. Load up Cinnamon. Benchmark. 120 watts now. Voltage we up to 1.34. Sure, I was hitting 1.4 before. See, no throttling. But I'm not happy with it running at 120 watts, like double its wattage. I was actually scoring less than that before. I haven't tried this way around since they released the new BIOS. Perhaps this way works now. We already released a video showing this. $14.35. Again. The way I ended up doing it, in my opinion, is a better way than doing it this way. We're overclocking the front side bus as well. And my fans are spinning a lot faster than they normally do. We're hitting 82 degrees. Once more. We're not throttling, that's a good thing, but we're hitting higher temperatures and a lot higher wattage. A lot higher voltage as well, 1.34 volts. Oh dear. Right, so that's that way of doing it. Just turn XP on, set it to XMP profile 1, tell it that you do want to overclock even though you're not going to, and it will unlock your TDP threshold to unlimited. But the other way of doing it is this, and this is the way I did it. In fact, there's another way of doing it, but I'll show you the way I did it first. We'll close that. Back in Windows. What I've done now is I set the BIOS back to default, then I enabled XMP profile 1 and select yes for overclocking, even though I'm not going to because I can't. But what that does by clicking yes is it unlocks the TDP limit to unlimited, which is what we want, stop it throttling. Fortunately, by doing that, what I found is it it whacks the wattage way too high, which produces more heat. As before, when I was recording earlier, it was hitting over 80 degrees, which isn't bad, but it's not great. And the V-core voltage was a little bit higher than I like as well. So rather than just whacking it on XMP profile 1 and leaving it at that, what I did is I select the frequency for the memory as close as I can from the drop down list, which is 2933, and I set the memory timings manually and the voltage manually, what it's supposed to be, and that's it really. Restart it, and this is the result. So if we run the benchmark program down, sorry, I'm a bit tired. If we reset that now, benchmark. See, our max wattage now is 100 watts rather than 120 watts. By setting it to XMP profile 1, and we're not throttling still either. It's unlocked. Our max temperature so far is 69°C rather than 80. And we scored 1404, which isn't 1430 by any means, but it's better. And in my opinion, because I want my CPU to run cool and quiet, I'm much happier with that. And we can go one step further now. If you already have installed, which I think you do, and most people should, Intel Extreme Tuning Utility, or XTU. Load that up. And what I found with my CPU, and obviously they vary, you could do better than mine. What you can do in this, rather than mess around in the BIOS, is and what everybody else can do, is just change your turbo boost short power max to unlimited and your turbo boost power max to 4095. Whack it to the top of the just whack it to the top of the slider basically. That's it. You're good to go with regards to TDP throttling. But to further make your CPU run cooler, what I did is I reduced the V-core voltage by 0.100 millivolts, and then checked that. I knew it would be good for about 0.1. Good. Go to all controls. So you just keep whacking this down. You can't damage your CPU by undervolting it. Overvolting it damage it. Undervolting it will just make your computer unstable. So just keep reducing it down. I got 100s runs perfectly fine. I think that'll be fine for most systems. But I gradually went down until I got to 130. Anything below 130 for me, it became unstable, which sucks. But 120 seems fine. So if we set it to minus 0.120 millivolts, click apply. Sorry if I'm not making much sense. I'm rather tired at the moment. So yeah, we've also undervolted it by 0.120 millivolts. So if we close that now, something to bear in mind, and I don't think anybody's mentioned this because I've looked everywhere and I found it by accident. XTU doesn't like to run with with the cam software that comes with the Kraken coolers. Don't know why. If they're both running at the same time, XTU just keeps crashing. I don't know if anyone's aware of this. Nobody seems to be mentioning it on the internet. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's got the issue. If I start that now, this will keep crashing. Close Kraken software. They're obviously using the same sensors or however it works, and it keeps crashing it. Anyway, so we've set that to minus 0.120 millivolts. So if we go over here now, we were at 1.248 volts before. Our max temp was 70. We'll reset that. We're going to benchmark again. So you can see we're at 1.1 volts now. Is our max voltage. And we're hitting 60C, which is a decent drop in temperature. Obviously it's water cooled, so it's going to heat up slowly. Water doesn't heat up as fast as metals, so it'll take a while for it to level out. But it's a damn sight better than 80 degrees, and it's not throttling whatsoever. And our maximum wattage was 81 watts, which is fantastic. Drops a little bit on the score. Some of this stuff. Might just put this open. Right, let's try it again. Obviously, you don't have to undervolt. I just like my system to run quiet, cool. Why I bought the K version. The non-K version. Sorry, tired. We're near enough 1400. I'm happy with that. Like I say, you don't have to undervolt it. In fact, if we don't undervolt it, we set that back up. Apply. Run this again. I didn't intend this to be a video this long. I could have just said to everybody, get XTU and just set the TDP to unlimited. I've gone down on the score now. I don't know. Let's try closing that again. Close it entirely. Run it again. As far as I'm aware, XTU loads of the presets when Windows starts, so you don't have to keep setting it every time. Glad I'm not doing this on my old i5, because this would have took a while. There we go, 1404. So it's just XTU that's possibly lowering the score at all. Let's try that again. Set the millivolt to minus. I was actually running 0.150, and Windows was running fine, but I was finding I was getting lockups in games, so that wasn't much. We set it to 125 actually somehow. Apply. Say, as far as I'm aware, you can't damage the CPU by unvolting it, so stop monitors as well. They were already stopped. Right, exit that. I'll reset this. And we will run another benchmark. See if we get around 1400 again. 63 degrees. Fantastic. 1.1 volt. 81 watts. And we scored 1401. I'm happy with that. I'm sure people can do much better, and other people probably won't care about their CPUs getting hot, but that is how I solved my issue. Hope that's helped somebody. I hope that's been of some use to somebody. Video's been watched by a few people, and I've had messages from quite a few people on asking me whether I've solved the issue or they're having similar issues. The problem is, if you go on the internet, all you can find is information about how people have undervolted overclocked the K series. There's not much information about the non-K series. In hindsight, I probably should have bought the K series, because I just thought, well, I'm not going to overclock. I've always bought the K series CPUs and I've never overclocked them, which seems a bit pointless. Never had to. I only mainly use them for playing games, and overclocking them didn't really gain that many frames per second, so I didn't see the point in doing it. I just wanted my computer to be cool and quiet, basically, not roasting my feet every time I launch a game. Obviously there's an easier way of doing this. I went the long way of doing it, but that was mainly because I wasn't aware of the way you could do it with XTU. But obviously just going into XTU and unlocking the TDP limit that way is obviously the quickest way. But you shouldn't have to use a piece of software when your BIOS should be more than capable of doing the same thing. I did try reducing the voltage using the BIOS adaptive setting on the vehicle. Used minus 100 millivolts, but for some reason, I'm not sure it's an issue with the load line calibration still, but the voltage was jumping up way higher than it should have been when idling or when benchmarking, which obviously increased the TDP and the temperatures. So that's why I started using XTU to reduce the vehicle voltage, and it seems to work fine. I don't know if it's an issue with load line calibration or whether it's an issue with the way I'm doing it. If someone can show me a video or let me know how I should be doing it in BIOS, then please let me know in the comments. Hope this has helped someone. Please subscribe. See you in the next video.